Angel mother tears. The silence of Reese. Then the whole WNBA universe was rocked by a trembling voice. Angel Reese's mother lost it in a heartbreaking, unfiltered moment that was live broadcast on national television. With anguished eyes, she sat across from the host and finally said what no one was ready to hear. "My daughter can't take it anymore." The studio fell silent. At home, viewers were in disbelief. A lighthearted discussion about Angel's season descended into a devastating admission of the unspoken toll the league, the media, and even her own squad had placed on the rising star. For weeks, there had been rumors of friction in the Chicago Sky locker room, but none anticipated this degree of emotional breakdown. According to insiders, since the reaction began, Angel has struggled with severe anxiety, insomnia, and loneliness. Fans' fears were validated by her mother's breakdown. "This is a call for help, not just a slump." Fans are now calling for clarification. The league is quite vigilant. Panic has also taken hold within the Chicago Sky organization. How did things become so bad? Because the entire WNBA tale might shift forever if Angel Reese cracks. Like a supernova, Angel Reese exploded into the scene. Her intense competitive spirit, unrepentant demeanor, and viral on-court exploits made her more than just a rookie. She was a cultural influence. The Chicago Sky viewed her as the face of their team, as she helped LSU make history in the NCAA tournament and introduced women's basketball to millions of new fans. Then came endorsements, covers of magazines, merchandise that is sold out, and above all, a sizable fervent fan base. However, what began as a fantastic rookie season swiftly devolved into a nightmare. The pressure came instantly. Each squandered opportunity, every defeat, every time she failed to smile for the cameras, it was analyzed. Angel Reese was no longer just playing basketball. She was battling a battle of expectations, racial controversy, Caitlin Clark parallels, and a media cycle that appeared intent on either elevating her to the status of queen, or destroying her. According to insiders, the Chicago Sky locker room hostility started early. According to reports, some seasoned athletes questioned her attitude. Coaches found it difficult to control the attention that followed her around. Though she made an effort to maintain her composure, rumors began to circulate. Was she overly sentimental? Too gaudy? Are you not a team player? It was falling apart by the middle of the season. Headlines shouted diva behavior when Angel skipped a post-game interview, and fans conjectured that she would have a breakdown when she missed a game for personal reasons. Additionally, several unjustly blamed her for the Sky's difficulties as their losses mounted. But there was another tale going on behind the scenes. Several people close to the family have stated that Angel Reese was struggling with more than simply basketball. She was worn out, overwhelmed, and emotionally strained all the time. Hate on social media, press that invades, and a fan base that turned against her the minute she showed signs of weakness. That is the reason her mother's live TV meltdown was both surprising and significant. The public was given a first look at the meticulously cultivated brand. Angel's mother told of long nights spent with her daughter, sobbing, withdrawing, and questioning whether she was wrong to join the WNBA in the first place. She talked about therapists, hospital stays, and the heartbreaking worry that Angel would quit the sport completely. The Globe came to the abrupt realization that this was a mental health emergency rather than merely drama. The consequences have also been immediate. Support is pouring in on social media from fans. The media is being criticized by former athletes for spreading harmful stories. In a startling turn of events, there are speculations that the Chicago Sky coaching staff, who were previously chastised for abandoning Angel, may now be rushing to patch things up, even considering issuing public apologies to defuse the situation. Because winning and losing are no longer the only factors involved. It tells the story of a young woman who devoted herself fully to the game and was almost destroyed by it. Can Angel Reese make a full recovery before it's too late? Or will everything alter at this point? Behind closed doors, tensions boiled over as the maelstrom around Angel Reese became worse after her mother's tearful video breakdown, which went viral right away and had millions of views in a matter of hours. Angel and the Chicago Sky Group as a whole were under increasing pressure. She had been portrayed by the media as theatrical, immature, and unable to keep up with the league's fast-paced environment. However, the roles were now reversed. Fans and insiders began to wonder, what part did the squad really play in Angel's demise? Then the leak appeared. a big sports site received a shocking revelation from an unnamed source who was allegedly privy to the team's internal conversations. This leak claims that Angel Reese had been sobbing in the locker room several times before 2 games, demanding mental health assistance and to be allowed to sit out. Even more startling though, members of the coaching staff either ignored or flatly rejected those suggestions. One instructor allegedly even said, "She needs to toughen up. This is no longer college." The internet was enraged by that one quote. It soon became evident that Angel was not only under pressure, but that the very individuals who were supposed to be protecting her were actively working to shut her down. There were concerns raised about the team's mental health resources. Supporters called for an inquiry, once calling Angel a drama queen. Journalists were now turning around and writing op-eds criticizing the WNBA for failing to help young black women who were being closely watched. The most significant twist though, Angel abruptly vanished. Angel Reese fell silent a few days following her mother's breakdown and the anonymous leak. No posts on social media. No remarks in public. At practice, no appearances. She was deemed questionable for the following 3 games and missed 2 team events. A flurry of speculation broke out. According to some, she checked herself into a wellness center. Others asserted that she intended to completely stop playing basketball and take an indefinite leave of absence. Then the apology arrived. The head coach of the Chicago Sky unexpectedly issued the following well-crafted statement: "We sincerely apologize for any hurt that may have been done to Angel Reese during this difficult time. Our group is dedicated to developing and enhancing the way we assist each and every one of our athletes, particularly with regard to mental health." It appeared to the public to be a typical PR ploy. However, behind-the-scenes sources exposed a much more chaotic reality. The coach's apology was pushed rather than planned. According to reports, WNBA officials called Sky's front office to warn them that the team's reputation was in ruins and that sponsorships would be jeopardized if they didn't deal with the criticism. Even more startling is the fact that a number of Angel's teammates apparently promised to defend her publicly if the team didn't apologize. According to one insider, players were prepared to leave. They said that we would also be gone if Angel left. The Chicago Sky were facing more than just a public relations dilemma. They were on the verge of a full-scale player uprising. What about Angel? Still no word, still not found, still encircled by unanswerable questions. The truth came to light. Just when fans thought the drama could get any more heated, Angel Reese collapsed in her hotel room hours before the team's final game. According to a widely shared post on X from an unidentified but well-followed insider who is notorious for sharing WNBA rumors, they allegedly called paramedics. The post claims that Angel was discovered dehydrated, emotionally spent, and unresponsive. For more than 6 hours, she had been crying uncontrollably while confined to her room and unable to communicate with anyone. The post sparked a tidal wave of curiosity, even though it wasn't officially confirmed. Around the world, the hashtag #PrayForAngel started to trend. The tweet was retweeted with prayer hands and astonished replies by even famous people, like Cardi B and Shaquille O'Neal. However, that was only the start. The Chicago Sky conducted an emergency press conference. They were surprised when the Chicago Sports Central reporter stood up and dropped a live bomb on air, when the general manager, who was clearly uncomfortable, announced that Angel Reese would be taking time away from the game to focus on her health and well-being. 2 team insiders have informed us that following the most recent practice, Angel Reese directly pleaded with the coaching staff not to force her to participate. She was crying. "We don't have time for meltdowns," she was informed. "Are you able to confirm or refute this? Quiet. Don't deny. No affirmation. Just a PR representative whispering into a microphone and a frozen coach, in a matter of minutes." The moment went viral. Audio from the locker area that had been leaked was made public anonymously within a day. A voice, purportedly that of a coach, can be heard in the blurry video saying, "She's a liability right now. Weeks ago, we ought to have benched her. However, she sells us tickets." So the illusion was utterly destroyed by just single line. There was no protection for Angel. They were using her. All of a sudden, the pressure to keep her on the court, the coaching staff's icy silence, and the dearth of mental health care all made sense. The Chicago Sky's face, Angel Reese, was inconsolable because the people in authority had never really cared about her welfare. Confusion gave way to anger in the public's response. Supporters called for responsibility. There was pressure on WNBA officials to look into it. In just one weekend, more than 300,000 people signed the Protect Angel Reese. Demand WNBA Mental Health Reform Change.org petition. What about behind the scenes? Co-workers in the Sky were openly rebelling. Several players reportedly declined to show up for team meetings. One veteran, who was reportedly close to Angel, yelled, "You broke her," at a coach. "You want to act like it was her fault now." The group was disintegrating. There was no sign of Angel Reese, and just when it seems that things couldn't get any worse, one message in a private text exchange between Angel and a teammate that was released to a sports site sent fans shivers. "I'm not sure if I can recover from this." The psychological and emotional toll had risen to a horrifying height. Nobody knew what would happen next. Not even Angel herself. Not even the media or admirers. The consequences were swift and severe. The WNBA community was in complete hysteria within hours of the audio release and the silence during the news conference. Messages like #JusticeForAngel, "Protect our players," and "Shame on Chicago Sky" were all over Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Fans were no longer arguing over statistics or game day drama. Instead, they were confronted with a serious ethical, human, and leadership problem. Former athletes came forward. In a now viral video, Lisa Leslie stated, "We were told to be strong, to push through. What is Angel going through? Though that isn't being difficult. That is trauma." Even the legendary Candace Parker of Chicago didn't hold back. She described the Sky's treatment of Angel Reese as disgraceful on an ESPN panel, saying that you don't push a young woman to the brink just because she sells tickets. Sports aren't like that. Exploitation is what that is. However, Caitlin Clark, who many fans believed had withdrawn herself, offered arguably the most unexpected response. Caitlin shared a straightforward yet impactful statement on her Instagram story. In spite of the rivalry and previous on-court conflict, mental wellness is not a sign of weakness. I'm hoping you get better, Angel. Basketball can wait, in a single day. It was shared more than 4 million times. Supporters from both sides of the alleged rivalry came together. There was a lot of solidarity in the comment sections. Before becoming players, Caitlin and Angel were both people. This is more significant than basketball. The system that allowed this to occur deserves shame. In the meantime, Angel's main sponsor, Reebok, made a remark that caught attention. "We support Angel Reese. Her health is the most important thing. To make sure she has everything she needs, both personally and professionally, we are actively collaborating with her team. We don't base our partnership on successes or failures. It is predicated on respect." Soon after, other companies echoed Angel's strength and demanded that the league's policies regarding athlete support and mental health treatment be changed. But within the Chicago Sky Company, the story was different. Outside their training facilities, fans demonstrated. One standing brightly in the arena tunnel, a mural of Angel was inexplicably whitewashed over. There were rumors that some members of the coaching staff were under internal investigation for neglecting and abusing players. Additionally, Angel Reese's social media profiles vanished in the midst of all this turmoil. Don't tweet, no tales, no interviews. The silence was terrible. And she had disappeared. Everyone had the same question. Is Angel Reese ever going to return? Where is she? As the commotion subsided and everyone thought Angel Reese was recuperating in solitude, the story took a startling, quite unbelievable turn. Late at night, a bizarre movie with shaky filming and poor lighting appeared on TikTok. It was unmistakable. Angel Reese arguing with a slightly hazy stranger in a private hospital hallway. The yelling person's voice. Digital detectives claimed that it matched a senior member of the Chicago Sky coaching staff. The video shows an incredibly upset Angel, yelling, "I said I'm done. I'm no longer under your power." Then turning to face the camera and leaving while crying. The video became viral in a matter of minutes, millions of views. Thousands of comments were astonished. Globally, the hashtag #FreeAngelReese started to trend. Fans weren't buying it until the Chicago Sky issued an emergency statement saying, "We have no knowledge of this footage and are investigating its authenticity. Too many leaks. Too many insiders. Too many clues that something lot sinister is going on behind the scenes." A shocking disclosure from an unnamed WNBA front office source followed. According to the whistleblower, Angel Reese had lodged a legal grievance against the Chicago Sky Group. on the grounds of intentional distortion of public image, breach of contract commitments, and mental and emotional abuse. Allegedly supported by legal advice, the document called for a trade or a release, failing which Angel Reese would be ready to make public all of the emails, recordings, and internal correspondence she had accumulated over the previous 4 months. Screenshots of purported text messages between Angel and coaches were made public online. One of them included a staff member's answer, which read, "Play and don't say anything. You're not here to give us team management advice. You're here to sell tickets." The public's indignation erupted once more. Angel's stillness suddenly seemed to indicate preparation rather than just relaxation, for a greater purpose, for combat. Since it appears that Angel Reese isn't only recuperating, not to appear in court, but to expose everything. She is planning her comeback. In addition, Reebok, Shaq, Caitlin Clark, and even WNBA veterans were standing silently behind her. What comes next might permanently alter the league. What happened to Angel Reese is no longer the only question. What will she do next? A star that doesn't talk. On national television. A mother sobbing. A hospital footage that was leaked. A covert power battle in the front office. And now, the possibility of legal action that would undo the WNBA's most meticulously constructed image. One player is no longer the focus of this, in a league that says it is about empowering women, but may have just broken one of its biggest stars in the public eye. This is about power, control, and survival. Emails, texts, contracts, and internal documents may be shared on social media if Angel Reese goes public, proving everything fans had a suspicion about but were unable to verify. When Angel signed with the Sky, what was actually promised to her? After the altercation with the coaching staff, what actually transpired? And who actually made an effort to keep her quiet? Does this explain why she didn't perform as well? Why did she begin to miss news conferences? Why has Shaq, a business partner and mentor, completely disappeared? You've seen the video. Her mother's voice has cracks that you can hear. You've seen the league attempt to divert the conversation. However, you must now ask yourself, will they bury Angel Reese's story before it's too late? Or will she finally speak out? The next leak could happen at any time. So be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. When it does, we'll be here to break it down piece by piece with uncut footage, insider information, and unvarnished facts the league doesn't want you to know. Activate those alerts, because it's possible that Angel Reese is now quiet. However, her lack of response is going to completely upend the WNBA.